Passing their test. That's according to a new poll.
Yeah, the survey found that 37% of parked motorists said they didn't drive because the cost of driving was too high. A quarter admits they no longer have the confidence to drive. Over 1 in 3 stated they wouldn't drive again without professional refresher lessons.
Well, we're joined now by Georgia Burke, who is going to tell us a little bit about her driving history. When did you first pass your test?
I first passed my test 8 years ago. So I passed my test and then I went travelling and then I moved to London. So I didn't really need to drive. And then 8 years had gone by and I was like, oh.
So what happened at the next point that you then had to get into a car? Were you confident that you still knew how to drive? Yeah,
well, the first time I had to drive was when I moved to LA for a few months. And obviously there was 6-lane freeways that I had to drive on. So I did a refresher course beforehand and I was confident then. But since then I haven't driven again. So going into a manual car, I would be nervous. Yeah.
A lot of big cities, a lot of big towns, London, Manchester, Glasgow, difficult to find your way around. So do you think that there should be refresher courses for somebody that's taken such a large amount of time? Like 8 years is a long time not to have been on the road behind the wheels.
Yeah, I think personally, other people might be different, but I would definitely take a refreshers course if I was going to drive again. So I think maybe it would be a good idea if there was a certain limit to how many years you haven't driven for, that you have to take a refreshers course.
What really makes you lack the confidence, though? What is it that you think you won't be able to respond to the other vehicles on the road, or you'll forget to indicate, or what's the worry? I
think it's more, I wouldn't want to hurt anyone else, so that's more my main concern. And when I did the video for Compare the Market and I was driving, I was just more concerned about hitting a cyclist or another driver rather than not indicating or things like that.
What do you think the recommended route should be? I mean, should we all take refresher courses, do you think, even if we are on the road every day? Because we do get into bad habits and you know, start doing things really out of routine rather than what we should be doing.
That could be a good idea, maybe to do a refreshers course every 10 years, or if you haven't driven for 5 or 10 years, maybe to do a refreshers course. But I think it's more about your own confidence and ability. So I wasn't confident behind the wheel.
Guys, thoughts about that? What do you think?
When I worked within a larger organisation, and if you had a company vehicle, you had to take an advanced driving test each year as part of the company's policy. And I've got to say, those years, my driving improved massively, actually. It was huge pressure at the time, because you think, I have to do this, you know, why am I? And then suddenly you get in, it was your driving test all over again. But the skills I learned, they were all with people that had, you know, been in police roles, etc. I thought it was fantastic, and I would happily go back and do it.
And roads change all the time. There's so many cars on the roads as well these days. Now, I think refresher course is probably a good idea, so you can adapt to the changing times.
No. If I've saved up and I've passed my test once, I don't want to go back and do it again. I agree, and you said it's the confidence thing. I get that.
But that's if you've got into the car straight after passing your test and driven. But if you've had a break,
even if I've had a break, I've paid for my driving test. When is this going to stop?
Kevin, safety first.
No. OK, I'm saying, but if you don't feel confident, then I agree. But then some people shouldn't even be on the road after they've passed their test. Do you want me to point the finger when I'm driving home?
Why are you looking at me?
Very accusational.
Take objection to that. Stick to you after.